Guys, welcome back. I am Dr. Mindbender. We are here once again with the start of episode 5 of my Lego League of Assassins Temple mock. And as usual, thank you to everybody that watched the last episode, everybody that dropped a like and a sub, left an awesome comment. Man, really appreciate you guys. There will be a link in the description to the League of Assassins playlist. As I said, we are on episode 5, 4 episodes in. Not too much to get caught up on, but we're sort of at the 3/4 way point with this build. Uh, Today, this episode is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be doing the top of the building, really where Raish stays. This thing looks absolutely amazing. I'm very happy with how this came out. So the first thing that we did is obviously built the base plate. What's unique about this is that this base plate is 2 tiles thick, as you can see. There is no wiggle to this thing at all. None. I'm like shaking this thing. You can see there's no give. Okay. So this is going to fit on top of there. And as you can see, there is a little bit of a bow, but that's natural. I mean, there's really nothing you can do about that in terms of, Lego building. You're just going to have stuff like that happens from time to time. That's going to be the top. But what I've also done is, let me see if I can grab this. I have built 4 of these. Okay. Now they don't all have the articulation in front with the move my hand. Hold on. With all the greebling and everything, but they will have the fences and the decoration on top. And these are going to sit right here in front. Okay. Just like that. And I think I like that. I'm not sure. We're just going to do a basic design and see how it works. So those are going to be like that. And then I have these 2 archers towers that are going to go up here on either side. And we might shorten these because these are kind of large. We might shorten them by about 4 bricks. And then in the middle, what I was thinking was, and I've shown you guys this before, but this is going to be the front of the building. Okay. And this is going to go right about there. Right. It's going to go just about like that. And there are a couple other pieces that we're going to add on that as well. So, as I'm looking at this, and then there's still more. There's still going to be, a flag that goes on top. And as I'm looking at this, I'm like, man, this thing's huge. Let me see if I can add that thing without it tipping over. See what I mean? Like that's big. So I'm thinking the archers towers we have to shorten by at least 4 bricks. Those are high. But with the tower, with the railing and everything in front, I think it would look okay. It might come together. So that's my initial plan. We're going to put it together really quick, see how it works. I'm not really sure. In my mind, it looked better than what's looking like right now. I don't know if I like this, but let's just mock it up and see what happens. Okay, so I have mocked up how I envisioned the ceiling, the top of this thing going to look. Okay, before I pan up, I just want you to know that it's going to get changed. It's going to get abridged. The long and short of it is I like it. Okay, I like it. There needs to be a little tweaking, but I like it. So I'm going to pan up. All right, and I just want you guys just be aware. This is the best shit ever. Okay, here we go. Are you ready? Are you sure you're ready? Look Roz in the face. Look Raish in the face right now and tell him that you're ready. Look Talia in the face. Look Raish in the face. Look Talia in the face. Look Raish in the face. Look them both in the face. I don't think you're ready. I don't think you're ready. It's like a house on top of a house. And then at the very top, we got this swanky. I gotta stand up for this. The swanky flag, okay? That matches the dragon on the front of the building. What I would like to do is shorten this. Okay? This is super high up. Though I don't mind it, It's super high up. You know what I mean? But this I do like. Okay? What we do have to do is finish the buttressing under here. Okay? Under here, here, and there. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to keep this bottom layer of brick. Okay? Pretty sure. The buttressing we have to finish, and I'm probably going to add a couple other buttresses on the side, in the back, on either side. But I do like the design. What I wanted to happen, again, the archer towers have to be shortened. Those two archers towers, excuse me, have to be shortened. Okay? But I did want it to kind of flare out because I did figure that there would be some sort of defense tower or something on top of this thing because Raish needs his protection, right? And he should have a little palace on top of a palace because he's super rich and like dumb opulent and whatever. These have to get lowered. That's the main thing that I see right now. I think if we lower those, the aesthetic of it will look a lot better. And then once I get his digs, his whole thing at the top done, because there's a bunch of different sections that I have back here. Okay. Excuse the light. I'm sorry. But the thing is that there's not a ton of space back there, and I have a ton of stuff to put in his little home. So we're gonna have to work on that. So I'm gonna take the top part down. We're gonna shorten the archer's towers by at least 4 bricks, possibly 5. Put them back and then see how this thing looks. I think once we shorten them, that'll make a huge difference. Because right now, I think it looks a little, pan out a little bit. Right now, though I like it, the height of the archer's towers looks a little janky, okay? I think once we shorten those, this thing will really start to come together. And we're gonna put maybe some greebling and some articulation, but it's just those 2 towers, in my opinion, that are making this thing not look symmetrical. If we were to take those towers out, everything would look the same because what we would get is a nice little cone effect. See that? Sorry about that. My battery just died. So what I was saying was that you would get this nice cone effect, right? Nice cone effect of the shape of the building. But because of the 2 towers, a little Lord of the Rings reference, it looks a little bit asymmetrical. But like I said, once we shorten that should come right together. But I really, really, really like the way that this is going to look. I really do. I think it looks really good. It looks like something that's befitting of Ra's al Ghul. So let's get back to work. Let's shorten those towers. Let's get everything sort of in place. And then we'll start working on the building. Or actually, we'll shorten the towers and then we'll do Raish's building first, and then we'll put the towers back because it's going to be easier to put the towers back than to do the actual building with the towers in place. So I'm liking this. I am liking it. Looks really good. Let's get started. Okay, so I've taken, excuse me while I scratch my head. I've taken the top, obviously, off of the base of the building. The temple is right there, along with a whole bunch of other Lego stuff. But I've also decreased the height of this by 4 bricks, okay? And the remainder of that stuff is right here. So I wanted to show you that there was or is a staircase on the inside of this thing. And there was part of me that wanted to preserve that. And as you can see, there still is, but it's very short. It's shorter than a minifigure. So I'm wondering, nobody's really going to see that per se. And if I increase it by 1 brick, is it really worth it? Is it really, really worth it? And I kind of came up with, not really. We could do it. Put that back. We could do it, but right now I'm not sold on it, and it's something that's easily fixable at a later date. The other part is, this piece right here, we might keep if I, figure out something that I can do with that. But I wanted to show you guys, the back part of this and give you my idea. So I was thinking, excuse my finger, that I would not put the back rail on there. And if I did, which I could, I would just build on top of it. You know what I mean? So we'll figure that out in a second, but I wanted to show you these sections. And again, this is all from my Harry Potter thing, but there's this cool little area over here which has some pictures on the wall. There is this area which is going to go on top of this, but it's just a little steeple area, little picture of a wizard. I just thought it was cool. And then this area, which I really, really like, which is this bowed out window section, but it's basically a little sitting area, which I really liked. And some old pictures, some really old timey pictures, which would go perfect with Ra's al Ghul because he's super old and those look old. So I'm going to start. The other thing is we might actually have to heighten this part by about a brick, maybe, because this archway, again, is very small. I want a little bit more height there. And I'm probably going to put a door of some kind in there. So that definitely needs to be extended by a little bit. So without further ado, let's put something together. Let's see what we can build really quick and see what we like. The other thing is I'm probably going to build onto these as well. Maybe about the second stud, and there still be a little walkway there. But that will depend on how much stuff I'm trying to put in there. And there's some other stuff, some really cool stuff that I want to put on the inside that I'm going to show you later once I get the basic shape of this thing worked out. Okay, so we have sort of a very rough, excuse my hand, layout as to how I want this thing to look. And I've come across my first sort of conundrum, which is, do I want this thing open or closed? And I'm looking at it now, and I think it would actually be better to leave it open and not have a wall back here and just have a U shape where you could just easily look in and not have to, take something else apart. And I think that's what we're going to roll with. The other thing is, I see now that I'm going to have to elevate this structure by at least maybe 1 brick. I did have some Lego stairs around here, but I think I left them downstairs. So, I'm thinking that there would have to be a staircase at least up here, or at least over here, and then some sort of walk around. And I got to figure that out. But I do have to, excuse me, raise this entire structure by at least one brick. The other thing is, I got these elements over here. I do have other windows that are, the plain rice windows that I'm going to put most likely on the bottom here. The thing is that you can see more of the window from the side than you can from the front. See that? So if you're looking at it straight on, you're not really going to be able to see those two windows right there. So I might even switch those out to the side and just put the plain ones in front. The top ones will be a different story, as you can see. You'll definitely be able to see those. So, I think what I'm going to have to do, and I like, this little design. The other reason why is because I have these really cool pieces that were from, I believe it's a carriage, a Beauty and the Beast carriage, that I thought would look really cool. I like the color contrast, and I wanted to put those in there. The other is these things. Oops, knocking stuff down. I wanted to put this in there, and this is just, let me see if I can just put this down. It's just too tall. Look at that. It's just too tall. I also have these 3 bookshelves, this smaller one, baby bookshelf, mama bookshelf, papa bookshelf. And they're just too small. They're just too small. So I definitely want to put these 2 in. This one I could live without, because that's super tall. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking that I have to elevate this thing high enough to at least get this one in. This one will fit just fine, but that one, I want to put in there, and definitely want to put that in there. So, yeah. Oh man! All right, let's get building. Okay, so I got a really basic structure going here. I got a lot of stuff on the table, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to rotate this, but I have started to implement some of those light blue pieces, as you can see. And then there's this little archway, or this little archy thingy jiggy right here. And if you can hear that bird outside, my apologies. That thing has been squawking for like an hour. I don't know if you're able to hear it, but I can definitely hear it. But I'm trying to figure out whether or not, number one, I think I am going to close this off. Okay, this back wall, I think I am going to close that off. And then number 2, what I'm going to have to do, or what I think I'm going to do, is attach this piece to these pieces. And I'm going to have to separate that either below this brick or above this brick. So probably below this brick. So right there. Yep. Just knock that down. So I'm going to have to separate that, attach those bricks. I'm going to move these 2 ornamental pieces because those are going to be completely hidden, and I want to use those obviously for decoration somewhere else. And then we will make another base plate and then have a top level. So I think that's what we're going to do. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. So let me finish this. The other thing is I do have other windows that are coming. As you can see, these windows are not, those doors are not in. So as soon as those doors, window pieces come in, we'll just pop those in. But until then, this is going to be semi-finished. I really want to get the structure of the building done, and then we can do the interiors, later when I have all the pieces collected. So let's finish up. Ladies and gentlemen, number 1, if you can hear AC/DC in the background, that's because there's a Little League game going on across the street, and they have a pretty cool sound system. But my friends, I think we're good as far as the exterior is concerned. It is 99.5% complete. There is a ton of stuff that I have for the inside, a ton of articulation. And we're going to get to that probably in the next video. But this thing is pretty much done. So what I did was, okay, when we last left, hold on, let me push this back just a little bit. Boom. Right? So I finished all of this, okay? And then we're going to take this off because this is just placed on there really quick. And then I made this base plate, which is sticking. Here we go. Here we go. Those were stairs that were inside. But the inside is kind of small, okay? And that's simply because of the architecture of the building. But there's still a lot of stuff that I'm going to be able to put in there. So what I'm going to do is, and that looked good. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do with this thing right here. I'm going to cover it with something, but I haven't figured out what yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this down. I'm going to get the bottom of the building, replace it, put this back on top, and show you what it looks like. Guys, we have a finished product. 99% finished. 99% finished. But this thing looks amazing. I am very, very, very happy with the way that this came out. And I'm sitting like super far away so you guys can see everything in the frame. Inside this thing, I have a ton of Ninja minifigures that I should have put out on the little terraces and stuff. But I'm extremely, extremely pleased with how this came out. Extremely pleased. I'm giving this a very solid 8.5. And if the Lego room was not so full of stuff, oop, look, you can see the light right there. Wasn't so full of stuff, I'd be able to give you like a proper 360. But doesn't this look good? I'm really liking the Archer's Towers. I love the dragon flag on the top. We still have to do something with that piece. But I'm liking this. I'm liking the dragon windows. We still got to get the other claw. But this just looks super, super dope. This is definitely the most original build I've done. Definitely the most original. But I want to know what you guys think. The next thing that we're going to do are the interiors. The first floor is kind of done. Second floor and third floor, and definitely Roz's place definitely needs to get done. So I need to get a bunch of jumper tiles for the flooring. And then I have a whole bunch of accessories that we're going to be putting in. But I'm super, super, super happy with this. I can't wait to hear about what you guys think about it in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. This has been so cool to build. Like I said, we're going to do the interiors. We might even put another tree in front. I like that cherry blossom, but we might add something else. But again, let me know what you think in the comments. I think this thing looks pretty freaking dope. And I will see you soon so we can start doing the interiors of this thing, man. I'm really liking this. This is so cool. I like the jade fencing up here as well. You know, the color contrast between the red, the beige, and the green. Loving, loving, loving. God, this is so good. Guys, thank you for watching. Make sure, if you haven't already, make sure you like. Definitely leave a good comment. Subscribe. Smash that button. We are 3 away from 300. Hopefully by the time that this releases, we will be at 300. And again, the next video will be the interiors of this thing. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.